yes, it's that time again. How are you, folks? Nick Dipaolo Show. Nice to talk to you. How's the traffic on the 405? Wait a minute, what time's it? 3 o'clock? Yeah, it's kicking up out there in L.A. Oh, was that a bitch? I'd have an audition like at Warner Brothers. I lived in, some shitty little West Hollywood side street with Mitch Hedberg in that same building. And I'd have to be at Warner Brothers like 5:40. And, I'd leave the house around noon to get there. Just, between, it's an overpopulated state, and then you got another country living there. You just couldn't find, it was just, oh my goodness. I went into an audition so crazy. You can kill that now. No, that was good. That's Castellano. And where did you see him? Blois to Cult League guitarist wrote that for me. God bless him. Andy Sarman, Queens or something, the beer gardens in a story. I remember going to an audition. It was for an Artie Lang pilot. I don't think we knew each other at that point. I think it was supposed to be for the King of Queens. It was a show like that, or it was originally for Artie. That's where I met Artie that day. But I got in there, and I was so crazy from the track. I was about 20 minutes late, and then they stop you at the gate, unless you're Gilligan, and they can recognize you. But, I run in there, I'm out of breath, and we go right into the read, and I'm doing it more angrily than normal, which is saying something for me. And the director goes, no, I want it angrier. So I do it more angrier. And he asked me, no, I want it angrier. And then he starts laughing. They were pulling my prick. They thought I was joking around when I did the first read. They go, he can't be serious. So the guy kept saying angrier. That was his, it was his note to me. So by the end, I'm like, motherfucking Artie's laughing his balls off. And he still we tell that story a lot. I think it was for Artie. I'm pretty sure it was a pilot by Artie. But, L.A., 5 o'clock. Anywhere. Let me tell you something, I've lived on both coasts. I've lived in both cities. It's not any better here in New York, trying to get out of this city at 5 o'clock. Trust me, if you live in Westchester County. That's why I love my hours. I got to be honest with you. And I will be doing the show sometimes from my house. To get out of this city, get on the West Side Highway, the Joe DiMaggio Highway, and there's a sewage treatment plant right there, and it's 111 degrees. You're stuffing traffic. You breathe it in, bus fumes and poo-poo. I'll tell you, by the time you get to your house, there's a nice lump and a rash on your neck. You're like, what's that from? That's from breathing human poo-poo. And, just horrible. Or try to, the Major Deegan. I don't care if you live out in Queens. It's a clusterfuck. And we have Mayor de Blasio, Conrad de Blasio, left-wing douche, with his bike paths and his, I've seen a total of 11 people riding those bikes. He has a wet dream. He's going to turn the city into Beijing, where everybody's going to work on a red Schwinn. This fucking asshole. What a jerk off. I see him in the paper. I want to punch his fucking face. Now he's trying to, I don't even have the story in front of me, and it doesn't matter. Now he's trying to diversify the high schools even more. Every high school now is going to have like 40-50% black and Latino. That's like this is coming from the de Blasio, these left wingers who've been telling us the whole life to be colorblind. Yet they're actually bean counting now.
Right.
I'm talking to them, Andy. 1 second. I'm trying to create a thing here.
I got caught up.
I know. I forget that you have the same politics as me. I'm very good at this. Anyhow, I just read the paper in New York, and then the veins are coming out of my neck, and how a guy gets elected like that in New York. You guys, you deserve what you get. You really do. Anyhow, that's why when I get into the city, I run right into a place called Rosie O'Grady's, and I have a couple pops to take the edge off. Today, I didn't want to do that, though. I wanted to see what what am I on, Trazodone? I don't know about Trazodone. I'm waking up with morning wood like I'm 14. And there's nobody next to me, so I got to get one of those My Pillows. You know what I'm saying? The Trazodone. Anyways, what do I want to get to in the first hour? How are you, folks? 866-969-1969 if you want to chime in. You know who Jerry Remy is, folks? He played second base for the Red Sox in the late 70s. He's in the Red Sox Hall of Fame, and he's a likable New Englander. He's sort of our version of Phil Rizzuto. Not quite as old as Phil. The guy's beat cancer like 5 times. He's just a good-hearted Just a good guy. And, anyways, the Red Sox are playing the Yankees last night. And the pitcher, the manager comes out to talk to Tanaka, the pitching coach, and he has to bring a translator with him, I guess. So this is what Jerry Remy said about that. It's all of a sudden it's a big controversy. I really want to move to another country, but they're all such shitholes. Where am I going to go? I'll have to put up with the PC poo-poo here. But Remy says this.
I forgot with Tanaka, they take out a translator. I don't think that should be legal.
Seriously.
I really don't.
Jackie Bradley, 0 for 1. What is it you don't like about that?
Learn baseball language. It's pretty simple. I mean, you break it down pretty easy between pitching coach and pitcher after a long period of time.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, naturally, social media lights up. Anytime a white fella even brings up anything about another, I mean, why is that controversial? I don't. He's giving a baseball opinion. That's how that is. It's not about no Japanese people in the league. Fuck that. Learn the language. It's not what he was saying. He was saying 1 fastball, 2 curve, 3 slider, 4 knuckle. Well, I'm just, why did, only in this country, it fucking lights up on social media. Oh, racing I don't get it. I'm trying to, it's a baseball guy giving a baseball opinion. I don't even know that I agree with him. If the guy, guy doesn't, there's more to 1 is fastball, 2 curve, 3 slide. There are some, other things that go on the mound out there, I'm sure. But you know what? You should learn fucking English if you're playing ball over here. Give it a crack. But that goes for, look, you can't just single out Tanaka. You got guys coming over from the Dominican Republic. They've been here, but some of them they're only here 5 minutes, so you can't blame. It takes a while. I don't know how they do it. If I move to Japan, nobody speaks English in Japan. Nobody. One guy, and he died a few years ago. He got some bad sushi. His name was Kevin. But nobody speaks. I was over there doing the USO tour, and I mean, nobody. And so I think these guys, for the most part, do pretty well. But my point here is, why is that so controversial? Somebody help me out with that. What's so controversial that he said? Like I said, it's more of a baseball opinion than anything, is it not? 866-969-1969. Then I think this is where he got in trouble. He started to mock Tanaka a little bit later on. I think he had a few drinks in him, and they started doing this. Now that, yeah, see that. Red Sox or no Red Sox, that's where he lost me. He really, by the way, he didn't do that, folks. Just relax out there. Phones are going to fucking light up from Cool Gardens. Andy, like that, what I just did wasn't enough. He throws in a Mao. He throws in a Vietnam. Now that's racist. That's a Vietnamese guy. You're lumping him in with a... Please tell me Tanaka's Japanese at this point. Anybody find that offensive, folks? And don't turn it into a Yankee fucking Red Sox thing, because it's not, like my buddy Andy did. Oh, the fucking Red Sox have a bunch of guys from Dominican Republic. They don't have...
Well, listen.
I love when a relief pitcher, every bullpen has like 19 guys from Dominican Republic. They come in, you can tell they just got here too. They run into the game. They still have seaweed in their hair and shit. It's very disturbing. But I love how the first 2 calls are about nothing, that the people already... They already had, what they wanted to talk about. I'm talking about this. People are getting all nuts. And before I do that, come see me this weekend, folks. Friday and Saturday, June 9th and 10th. I'm going to be at Hilarities in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a great comedy town. NickDip.com is where you can get all my tour dates and ticket information. And then you can go to, hit me up at Nick Dipaolo at Twitter and Instagram. And then if you want to follow the show, and for live show updates and information about our guests, what the fuck does that even mean? Information about our guests.
Yeah, our guests' tour dates and where they're going to be and stuff like that. We'll post it all on our show's Twitter.
Is that what that means?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great if I have a guest here tonight, but I don't. Let's cut it down.
Well, it's a general rule of
sister's fucking box.
Hey,
oh! I'll say it again. What the fuck's there to think about? So you can, if you want information about our guests that aren't here, go to @Dipaolo Show. SXM. You can do that there on the show. Let's go to Connor. Boy, people have opinions about the Connor on line 3. Connor, what's going on, pal? Fargo.
No, I was saying, I said, I don't necessarily agree with what Jerry Remy said, but the last thing they need to do is the Red Sox need to do with that organization is get rid of him. Because I'm not a Red Sox fan, but he's by far one of the more comical guys they have in Major League Baseball.
Yes, he is. Yes.
I love, there's different clips, but there's a few, like, not compilation, but a few clips of him. There's one where somebody threw a pizza slice at somebody in the front row.
That was and, like, yes. Go ahead.
And they broke it down with, like, the little squiggly, the little John Madden, like, the doodle pad thing and everything. Yes. Or another one where they had a guy that was, they're playing somewhere, like, they're playing, like, in, in Florida or something, and some guy had a shirt off, he was covered in hair, the guy was just nonstop. The guy's hilarious, just let it go.
Hey, all right. Connor, let me ask you this, though. You started off by saying, of course I don't agree with what he said. Well, what do you mean, of course? I mean,
No.
Hold on. Let me finish my question for the crying out loud. What were you offended? How is that even controversial? I don't understand. Who's finding that offensive?
Yeah, let me phrase that. I was not offended by it. I don't think I said, of course. If I did, I'm mistaken.
No.
I could give a rat's ass what he said.
All right.
So,
okay.
It's a little, I would say it's no different than, like, we have Dominican players, we have Chinese players, everything else. Whatever. Maybe the guy should have said it, just, obviously not to cause an issue, but I don't care.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for weighing in, Connor. I appreciate it, brother. Fargo. Think he's really in Fargo? Or they
Didn't sound like he was from Fargo.
Sound like he was in Studio 6. Dean, what's Dean's last name? Obadallah.
Yes.
He's the Muslim /
Italian.
Palestinian / Sicilian who does a radio show right next door, and he comes in with this big grin on his face. Oh, obstruction of justice. And he works for CNN, by the way. He contributes to CNN. So I said, you're full of shit. Your network's full of shit. You're full of shit. And I love him. He's a bubbly guy, but he comes in with I go, look at you. Just the desperation in your voice. We got him on this. We got him. I go, do you hear yourself? Anyways, we're not even talking about that, but I just have to point it out. And I do like Dean. I'm going to go in there eventually. I can't, can we? Because he's doing the same time as us.
Maybe we could do some sort of cross-studio connection.
I got it. Because he every day he's come in with a big... Then he goes, he goes to me, who you got as a guest? The Grand Wizard of the Clan? I'm like, who you got, ISIS members? You want to play that game? Yeah, dirty, rotten. And I still like him. He's very likable. I like to get him in a headlock, though. I like to do a clitorectomy on him, like you're doing the countries he grows up in. What? Anyhow. Let's go to Corey in Virginia. His wife is Japanese. Now right there, Corey. That's unbelievable. You got a Japanese wife. You're living in Virginia, and you have a black kid and a yellow duck.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and my cockatoo. No, I've been in the military for 38 years, and my wife is Japanese, and her and I both agree. It's a freaking commentator making a freaking opinion. He's got the right to do that. I've been doing this for 38 years, so people can have an opinion and say what they want. As soon as the left comes out and has, oh my God, we have a problem with this. The hell is their problem? They can go out and do Black Lives Matter and all this other crap, but as soon as you have an opinion about something, you're the fucking bad guy. And I've been doing this for 38 years. I say that again because it's important that I fight for that right. And I appreciate what everybody else does.
Right.
Don't come and get on some guy's ass for, having a fucking, sports opinion.
Right. And that's all it is, Corey. To me, that's the point. It was a sports opinion. It was about the rules of the game. But I like the way he said, this is why I love Jerry Remy. He goes, I don't think that should be legal. Like it's a statute.
The wall just got 10 feet higher. Okay. So, wait a minute, that's Japan. We can't. The water just got. That's a tsunami. Shit, we can't even talk about that.
No, that's that. And I said that years ago. I really am ahead of the curve. It's too bad I was wasting it talking to my 6 friends. But I would say that we're getting to the point where if you're a white guy, you can't. It doesn't matter the context of the conversation. The black people don't want you talking talking about? It doesn't matter. It's appropriation.
At work, trust me. At work, as an officer, I won't say my rank, but I can't even say it at work. You can't say, oh, what guy? Well, the black guy over there. You can't even say it. You have to say that guy, and then you got to point him out. You can't even say that. They're like, you're insensitive.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck, man? Call me the white guy. I don't give a shit.
Well, that's going to be the name of my next special. Say it anyways. Hey, Corey, what branch of the military are you in?
I did from 1980 to 84 in the Marine Corps, and now I'm in the Army.
Oh, God bless you, brother.
Thank you.
My dad was a Marine back in the 50s. Thank you for your service, Corey.
All right, brother. Simplify out of here.
All right. See that? Somebody's got to be an adult. Guys in the Marines. I'm at Hilarities in Cleveland. Somebody throws a full Heineken, hits me in the chest. I'm crying. Let's go to Joe in Westchester, my neck of the woods. Joe, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Nick, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm hanging. I'm hanging in there.
Thanks for taking the call. Listen, a couple of things. First of all, when are we going to get rid of the labels? African American, Asian American. How many Italians do you know walk around saying I'm Italian American? They just say they're American.
Just my wife.
How many Polish people walk around saying I'm a Polish American? I mean, can we just stop with the labels already? If you're here and you're legal, you're an American. What do we need to identify people about, where they came from 400 years ago?
I don't know. It all started.
Yeah?
The whole PC thing started with the civil rights thing. That's where it started. And then
It's a joke.
And then the feminists grabbed hold of their coattails and swung past them. Now they're at the top of no, I agree.
And I'm proud of my heritage and everything. Don't get me wrong.
Not me. I can't
I love
stand
to celebrate my. There's nothing like being Italian for me. It's fantastic. But at the end of the day, I don't walk around with a big walking around with an Italian flag, waving an Italian flag on my car.
Well, you don't have to because you have a greasy head and you smell like garlic.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
What the hell's going on out here?
All right, Joey.
Hey, Nick, thanks, man.
You got it, brother. Phones are lighting the hell up. I just, it's exhausting to live here, man. And social media, I just wish there's no way to reverse the internet. I know Al Gore invented it. Can he put it back in the bottle, that fat fuck? Of course, a bunch of guys at Stanford invented it, and everybody's claiming. Johnny Depp said he had something to do with it. Lorraine Bracco said she invented the... But that's what it is. It's the young kids on social media, these social justice warriors. You can see they've ingested this PC horse shit. It's in their DNA. It's creepy. It's creeped into the military. Like I said, guys now have come of age growing up on this shit. I was shocked when I was over in Japan fighting the Japanese, and I was, USO tour, and I came off stage. I told you, Collins, and now Dipaolo's the only guy that can silence a room of Marines, and they came over and said, they go, yeah, we can't say any of the shit you just said, and they go, we can't even shoot at people until we're shot at. I thought the guy was kidding me. I really did. I go, you're busting my balls, right? I didn't know about rules of engagement, and you wonder why we are where we are. And you know who expedited all that? The jerk off before Trump. Am I right, Brendan? You voted for him twice. Let's go to Blake in Arkansas. Blake, welcome to the Nick Dipaolo Show. How's your onion?
Hey, how's it going, man? First of all, I like your show. We definitely differ politically. I'm sort of left-leaning, and this is definitely a left-leaning utopia down here in the Deep South, let me tell you about it.
Yeah, it is.
But,
wait, are you saying that sarcastically?
Sarcastically, yes. No, it's yeah. No, this is not the place to be if you lean left whatsoever.
No, hold on. Let me. I want to challenge that though. Okay, because
sure, go ahead.
Because I'm a stand-up comic and I've played down south, and everybody goes, "Oh, they must love you." People up here always go, "They must love you down south," and I go, "No." No, Atlanta is as politically correct. You guys have a guilt trip about slavery and all the horse shit. At least when it comes to a comedy standpoint, Atlanta punchline. There was my racial stuff would just get quiet like a guilt con. Same with Austin, Texas. Same with Tennessee. Go ahead. Your thoughts?
Oh well, yeah. You're playing Atlanta and Austin. Those are sort of isolated areas. Play Bald Knob, Arkansas. Someplace where they'll really, you'll go over great. I promise. But no, the thing with the translator. I think the main reason why people, and I can sort of understand when people would have been upset by it. I think it sort of falls in the same line of thought is, come to our country and learn our language, and then just people get so outraged that there's differences anymore.
Yeah.
And the point somebody else earlier made about labels, we're going to have labels, and right now, if you're a Muslim American, and we may differ on this too, but as soon as somebody even looks Muslim, whether they're Sikh or what, they're definitely labeled. Probably by the same guy who just said he didn't like labels.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, there are idiots out there, like right after 9/11, when remember right after 9/11, the guy shoots like a Sikh at the gas station. Just think.
Yeah.
But they're far and few in between, and how many people have died? How many Muslims have died since 9/11 because of 9/11? But very, very few. I'd say.
Are we talking about in America, or are we talking about?
No, America. Of course, America. No, we're racist America, where we're so anti-Muslim. How many people have died since 9/11 out of hate? Very few.
Yeah.
Very few.
We don't have we have a substantial population, but there's just not most crime here is white on white, I think, for the most part.
No, I guess you haven't been to New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just that we just have more. There's just more of us. Just
yeah, but if you went to Astoria, Queens, you'd think you were living. You had a Turkish bazaar in 1650. All right.
Oh, okay.
But I hear you. The South is a little less diverse as far as what we're talking about. But hey, thank you for the call, Blake. Thank you so much, brother.
Not a problem, man.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna try these. Are these yours?
Yeah, I can't hear.
What do you mean can't hear?
I can't hear
the
call or anything.
Can you put them on? Can you turn it on? The volume, please, Andy. Hello, and
you can't hear those?
There's nothing. I was trying my producer's headset on. This is what and again, okay, it's the equipment here. It's not just the cell phone. It's a combination. But this is what the sound kind of like Jerry Remy. That's what I'm hearing. Are you not hearing that?
It sounds fine on mine. Why is
that? I'm talking about the calls. That's all I'm talking about. Let's go to Rich in Boston. Rich, welcome to the show.
Nick, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm wearing headphones from Radio Shack. Anyways, go ahead.
Good for you. They're going out of business, so those are yours.
Okay.
You're not returning those. But I just want to call up, you may even put me in with the far left libtards or whatever.
Rich, do me a favor. Try to lower your voice a little bit. I just want to see if that helps. Seriously. Go ahead.
Yeah, not a problem. So what it comes down to is that I think he was talking about it in a professional manner. Let's say Jerry Remy walks into a bar and there's two Japanese guys just speaking Japanese to each other.
Right.
I don't think he has a problem with that. He'd be an asshole if he did. But good for you on your show.
He'd be an asshole.
Had to have a translator.
Hey, Rich, he'd be an asshole, or he'd be a World War II veteran who lost a few friends. But go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. But what if on your show you had to have a translator? That would be ridiculous because professionally you would not be able to do your job.
Yeah.
This guy is making millions of dollars.
Yes.
And hey, if you feel bad for that guy, then coaching staff friggin' ante up and learn some Japanese for the guy. Eventually you're going to have 30 people on the staff that no one else has. You're only supposed to have a certain amount of people in the dugout unless someone doesn't speak the language.
Yeah.
There's 5 different languages, 5 different people having 5 different conversations.
Right.
And it just adds to the time. It's friggin' stupid. I don't watch baseball.
So you're
how long shit takes.
All right. So you're with Jerry Remy on this.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
In a professional way. Like I said, if I call the call center and they could understand every other word that I was talking about, that's useless. But they can get a translator on. No, just have the translator be the friggin' person then.
Okay. Fair point, Rich. Thank you so much.
Great.
Richie from Beantown checking in. I see what he's saying. Excuse me. But I guess it's more, my frustration is with social media and how it just, anything, racial, ethnicity-wise, it just shows what a clusterfuck. And we, the right, have not controlled the dialogue as far as race goes in this country for the last 40 years, okay? That's set on college campuses with your nitwit NYU professors and, and the de Blasios of the world and the fucking Obamas and the Hillarys and, but I love Jerry Remy. He's guy used to steal bases. He was a fast white fella. You don't see that very often, especially in Boston. He was probably he's in the Red Sox Hall of Fame. It's so funny. This is how he has a real heavy Boston accent. Instead of saying Bogarts, he says Bogarts. People like tweet him during the show. They go, Jerry, say Bogarts. Bogarts. He's a charming guy. Like I said, he's beat cancer like 5 times. And anyways, what he said was not offensive. If you're offended by it, you're a big girl. Anyways, folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about what will we talk about? We have a million things. I'd like to talk about this soccer player in London that actually took on some of the terrorists with his bare hands. And Wall Street Journal has a story how we have black college dorms now. I guess we're for segregation. On college campuses, the libs are. So it's getting confusing out there. Stay tuned. 866-969-1969. Back after this. Well. If you'd like to chime in, 866-969-1969 is the phone number. And come see me this weekend. Hilarities in Cleveland. It's a good comedy town. Go to nickdip.com for all my tour dates. I have a nice clean schedule after Cleveland, though. I got to be honest with you. It'll be radio. I'll do a lot of gigs around New York and a couple in my backyard. That's as far as I'm going, though. Anyways, I thought the most interesting story, I'm not going to get into Comey's testimony. We'll do that tomorrow. It should be D.C.'s like restaurants are jamming up and people getting all excited about that. But I like this story today. The London attack. A football fan, which he really would be a soccer fan, folks, shouted, "Fuck you, I'm Millwall," and he took on a knife-wielding terrorist, couple of them, with his bare fists. You gotta like the spirit of some of these, what we call soccer fans. But the guy's name is Roy Larner. He's already been hailed a hero with a petition launched for him to be awarded the George Cross Medal for his actions in fighting back. The 47-year-old Millwall fan gave dozens of others who were in the Borough Market Ross the chance to escape. So people actually escaped with their lives because this guy, I read on in the story, apparently he says, I had 5 or 6 pints of me, no big deal. But it probably, can you imagine having that kind of fucking balls? Probably went like this. Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Then here comes the soccer fan.
Problem. You're the fucking problem. You fucking Dr. White, onking jamrag, ucking spunk bubble. I'm telling you, H, you keep looking at me, I'm going to put you in the fucking ground. I promise you. Not this time.
47-year-old. And Millwall, I guess they have like fans that nobody likes. I don't follow soccer. But it's huge, obviously. And I guess the fans are sort of like the Raiders fans that nobody, but apparently they love him now. And he was being interviewed by the paper, and they asked him, well, what did you? He said, I yelled out like an idiot. He said, I shouted back at them. I thought I need to take, and then they blank it out in the article. I need to take the piss out of these buggers. So that's English, right? It's got P ... I would,
Yeah.
I was going to go, I was putting pussy in there because I'm American, and bitches. Isn't pussy and bitches in his song?
Sure.
It's not a hip-hop song. He says, I took a few steps towards them, and I said, fuck you, I'm Millwall.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Fuck you, I'm Millwall. These are guys with 12-inch blades in the hand, by the way. Just picture this. He said they started attacking me. I was on my own against all 3 of them. That's why I got hurt so much. He got sliced up pretty good. It was just me, he said, trying to grab them with my bare hands and hold on. I was swinging. I got stabbed and sliced 8 times. They got me in the head, the chest, both hands. There was blood everywhere. They were saying, Islam, Islam. I said, fuck you, I'm Millwall. Thank God. You know, if that happened over here in a soccer fan from America came, it would be a guy in a pair of khakis with a polo shirt going, hey, take a time out, fella. With some fucking woman, soccer mom, you know, holding her kid's backpack. It's got protein bars in it and one. Hey, those knives look sharp. What are you doing? I'm going to put an eye out. Put those down. Thank God we had somebody from Millwall over there who said, fuck you, man. I'm from Millwall. Must be a tough, that's the name of the team. Whatever. But, you know, pretty damn good. He's a hero over there, and he should be. Yeah, Mr. Larner's actions have won him a huge following on social media. Hey, would you guys do that? Let me ask you out there. Would you? And we all, I think we've had this fantasy in our heads a few times, right? I'm like, I'd run right in there and take a, would I really? You know? I'd be going, this shirt cost me like $11. It's one of those untucked ones. I had it online. I don't want to get blood on this. And I'd be cowering under a table like a fucking bitch, maybe. Or maybe not. I have a temper, too. Let's say I was enjoying the meal and these motherless fucks came in. I'd probably, take a run at him because I'm trying to have a steak quietly. That takes some balls, folks. I'm, joking around. Unbelievable. He took on like 3 of them. 866-969-1969. I want to hear from people who admit they're cowards or you go, no, you got to mix it up. You got to get in there. He's known now online as the Lion of London Bridge, which is, fans of the South London club, this is what they say, have long prided themselves on their refusal to duck a fight. So this guy, you see what I'm saying? Sometimes sports, it creates a sense of community. And this guy, there's people who were saved that night. At least that's according to this story. Because this guy, and there was another guy that was about to throwing chairs and bottles. I personally would have come at him with a pork chop and just, you know how you did the garlic with the Dracula? I don't know if that would work out. Well, you're in a restaurant. I'm saying I don't know how to make a restaurant.
It's not fair.
It's not fair, no? But they pride themselves on a refusal to duck a fight. Again, it sounds like an Oakland Raider. They have, they celebrate intimidating reputation with the chant, "No one likes us, we don't care." That's their slogan, which was mine when I got in show business, and I'm doing radio now. Did I tell you? Oh, yeah. I think that takes some balls. 866-969-1969. Ryan in Texas says the Millwall guy's catching some heat. Is that right, Ryan?
Yeah, that's right. The Antifa Twitter page is attacking him, saying that he's attacked 3 Muslims. Kind of funny, actually.
You have to be kidding. And the Antifas, the anti-fascists, the anti-Trump fucking jerk-offs who have ruined the country. So really, I love that logic. So he jumps in front of 3 guys wielding knives,
Yeah, and they called him an Islamophobe, too, I believe, for fighting back against them.
I would believe that. I think that's what they call trolling. Even they can't be serious, right?
I don't know. I saw it. I could have got confused, but I could have got tricked, but...
No, I mean, you're right. We don't know anymore. We don't know.
I mean, just look what they're doing at Evergreen. It's crazy.
Oh, that college?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that story last week, and I didn't get to it about the professor and day of absence.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen Joe Rogan's podcast with him, but it was really good.
That's right. Somebody told me Rogan had him on.
So, but anyways, great show, man. I just want to let you know that.
Hey, Ryan, thank you so much. I'm going to move to Texas someday. I'm telling you. It's where to be. They're at Kentucky, right, Brandon? I just want to get that accent down. You think you're better than me, counselor? Think you're better than me? Counselor? Counselor, is that you? That's Max Cady. That's Robert De Niro on Cape Fear. Please, if you haven't seen that, you're severely retarded and should check it out. I give it 2 thumbs up and a. De Niro got all, I think he must have been juiced and he got all ripped. Remember the physique on him? Dude. He's doing fucking dips.
It's insane.
Oh, fucking guy gets shredded. That's my wet dream. If somebody give me a role like that, where I have to get in shape or I have to put on 400 pounds, one or the other. Wouldn't that be fucking great? Oh, goodness. Let's go to Dylan in Atlanta. He has an opinion on the Millwall fella. I think the guy's a hero. Personally, how anybody could argue otherwise proves that we are doomed as a species. Go ahead, Dylan.
Nick, hey, you're my new favorite funny guy. Thanks, man.
You got it, my brother.
I just discovered you. Yeah, so, yeah, I agree. It's great what this guy did. Totally heroic. We all wish we could do that, and most of us wouldn't. But the fact of the matter probably is that the other 364 days of the year, he's a hooligan douche because most of those guys are D-bags. So it's kind of a paradox.
Really? I like when somebody paints with a broad brush. But, yeah, they can be fucking nuts. But you know what? That same thing that makes them nuts, and this is where the feminists and the political correctness comes in. You know how they're trying to de-ball us guys in this country? Yep. That same thing that makes me an asshole, when I was single, wasn't a good boyfriend, and, you take chances, you drink and drive, all that type of shit's the same stuff, it's the same DNA that's going to help you when somebody tries to break into your house and rape your wife.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So it takes a little bit of thuggery, a little bit of hooligan, and 5 to 6 pints he had in him. And he goes, which was no big deal, which made me laugh. But you're right, Dylan. Even his mother said this about his son. Well, he was never one to shy away from a fight. And, so yeah, your point is there are some serious hool. I was over there, by the way. Thank you for the call, Dylan.
Okay,
World
thanks.
Cup.
Keep it up.
Thank you. I was in Manchester 12 years, right after, 12 years ago? How about right after 9/11? 3 weeks after 9/11, I went over there. That's 16 years? I'll be dead tomorrow night. I was over there, and the World Cup was going on, and I was, in the area in Manchester where the bars are. Holy shit. And I watched it upstairs with the owner of the Comedy Store, and real Englishman. And I'm watching, what's his name? Beckham?
Yeah.
Yeah. They were playing Greece, and they had to at least get a tie to advance, and Beckham hits the shot. I was there to see English guys going fucking... It was so awesome. Them jumping around. I'm sitting there like it was a foul ball to the catcher. Really didn't do anything for me. But they were going shithouse, and then after I hear glass breaking, a bunch of fans from Greece started breaking storefront windows. And again, I'm supposed to look down on that and say, that's poo-poo, but... Yeah, I kind of like passion. I don't want to give the people the idea at Berkeley it's all right to do that every time Ann Coulter speaks. But those soccer hooligans, the guy makes a good point. There's some violent, talk about some violent white fellas. They got the shaved heads and shit. They all look like Billy Burr. Not all of them, a lot of them. Let's go to Chip in Massachusetts. Chip.
Yeah, I was over in Wembley last year.
Yeah.
And on one of the days, it was right after a concert that I went to the previous night. I went to the concert at the Wembley Arena, not the stadium, but the soccer game was at the stadium.
Yeah.
So I woke up to all these people singing, chanting, singing their team song and all this.
Yeah.
So I get dressed, go downstairs to have a cigarette. I'm standing there and watching the traffic go by.
Yeah.
I got a red windbreaker, okay, and I got a Boston Red Sox hat. Okay,
yeah,
clearly I'm not from the country.
Right.
Okay. This one car comes by, a window comes down, and these two kids that had to be 10 years old, okay,
yes,
start calling me a cunt because I'm wearing the other team's color.
Oh, the other team's
color. So they definitely take their soccer very serious.
And here's the thing. I love the way Chip said it. And a car went by, and I'm
from Massachusetts. What the hell do you want? I was born in Salem.
Yeah, so was my mother. Don't get all excited. I'm actually, I was going to say I love the accent because that's what I sounded like when I first came to New York. And, well, half my jokes weren't working. I had like 3 jokes that ended with a punchline. It was car. Louis C.K. comes up and he goes, they don't know what the fuck you're saying, stupid. And then I started pronouncing my R's. I got huge laughs. But that's funny that they called you a cunt, Chip, because like cunt over there doesn't, that's like saying tits over here,
Oh, well, I went back out later to go to the store, come walking back after the game.
Yeah.
And these two guys are talking, clearly fucking smashed off their ass.
Right.
And one of the guys goes, they said goodbye, and one of the guys, and take care of yourself, you old fucking cunt.
There you go. That's what I say to my dad when I'm leaving my house up in Boston on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's a term of endearment over there. You know, it's not the atomic bomb that we have here. You know.
I know. I'm trying to make it common over here. I say it at least 11 times a set when I'm at the Comedy Store and the stand, and I've been known to try to make that word as popular as it is. And you know, because what happens? You say it enough, people become desensitized. But there's always the girls still, that's the one that they, it's the N word for them. So I love to throw it out any chance I get. Then I go, I'm kidding.
Yep.
You know, you're just a douche. You're not a cunt. We all have a good laugh. All right, Chip.
All right, Nick.
Thanks, brother. Love it. Malden, Mass. I lived there. That's when I told you. I lived at this place called Granada Highlands in Malden, Mass. It was a brand new complex up on a hill. Roger Clemens was living up there, and here I am. I'm selling cable TV door to door, making about $6 a week. I'm laying next to Roger Clemens. I had money saved from selling steak and seafood. I had a deposit box. I was putting cash away for I had like 30 grand of cash. Thought I was a big shit, but I'm laying next to the pool. Clemens comes in. I'm broke. I'm eating dog food and hot dogs. Trying to finger pop girls in the pool. You jump over they lock it at like 10 o'clock at night. What a great time. Now you go up there at Section 8 housing. Oh, mama son. We have to ruin everything out of fairness, don't we? Sure we do. But I say this guy is Roy Larner. Oh, we'd say in Boston, Roy Larner is a hero. And I wonder if any of the people that were in there are going to, meet him and say thank you. Probably not. That's not in our nature as human beings. But good for him. He also said, I had 4 or 5 pints, nothing major. Last time I checked, a pint is 16 ounces, right? Is that the same in England? That's what's that, 80? Am I doing the math right? 80 ounces? That's 7 12-ounce beer. That's about right. That's not even putting it for a soccer hooligan. That's just wet. That's just wet my beak. It's enough to wet my beak a little bit. But he says, I can handle myself, but I was out with an older person. It was out of order, he says. This is what I love about Englishmen. Even when they're, soccer hooligans are like, well, I shouldn't have done that. I admit to, they're yelling Islam and I stabbed the person, but I shouldn't have done it. I was with my mom. Me mom. Anyhow. And then we got this story. I'll go into it, and then we'll come back and probably take calls on it. I touched on this. If you just go online every day and read about college campuses and stuff. But Jason Riley, I believe he's a black fella. I think I've seen him on Fox News Channel many times. Really, really bright guy. We'll get calls for that. Why are you calling him black? Is he articulate, Toad? Remember Joe Biden? He's nice and clean. Remember he said that about Obama? That's right, Brendan. Joe Biden said that. He's articulate. He's clean. He didn't catch any shit. Well, he did for like a day. But anyways, Jason Riley wrote this thing in the Wall Street Journal, how college campuses, we're going backwards now. We're actually, black students want black dorms. They want the tuition paid for. And it's happening. It's fucking happening with the help of little white liberal fucking jerk-offs. It couldn't happen unless white people were involved. But the white administrators who run the college campuses, spineless little weasels that they are giving in. And he says June 12th marks the 50th anniversary of the Supreme Court's 1967 ruling Loving versus Virginia, which held that states could no longer prohibit marriages on racial grounds. And then he cites statistics, how we've evolved, blacks and whites and all that stuff. But then he says, the irony is that we will mark the 50th anniversary of Loving at a time when race consciousness is once again ascendant, not only among alt-right types, but more tellingly, among self-styled progressives and left-wing institutions that once worked so hard to combat Jim Crow policies. The liberals who are chairing the recent removal of Confederate monuments to racial separatism also indulge the separatist rhetoric of groups like Black Lives Matter. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s call for colorblind policies seem as dated as concerns about interracial hookups. It's a good point. We're going backwards. That's what's hilarious. They call themselves progressives. They're in reverse with both feet on the gas pedal. And we talked about some of the examples. Students at the University of Wisconsin have demanded free tuition and housing for blacks. So they want to segregate. And I mentioned this on earlier episodes. They sound like that asshole. Remember George Wallace? And he was a Democrat, by the way.
And I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
Yeah. Now Brendan's sarcastically going, because he knows those are white people cheering back then. But now what? Now you got white liberal douchebags and black people cheering that. So what you're saying is George was right, George Wallace. That's what you're saying. You're for segregation if you want black dorms, and I don't give a. It's that simple. No pun intended. It's black and white though, Brendan. It's yeah. So at the University of Michigan, a student group that previously complained about the lack of racial diversity and inclusion. First of all, really, there's a lack of diversity and inclusion on a college campus anywhere. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me, man. 866-969-1969. I want to hear from people who agree with this. I say let's give it a shot. Let's try it again. Okay? It was wrong when Whitey suggested it. So let's try it again, Whitey still is suggesting it. Only, liberal fucking... but black groups are backing it. So, yeah, let's try it again. See how that works. There's plenty of examples. The University of Missouri, only students of color were invited to participate in a die-in protesting the shooting death of Michael Brown in Ferguson. Can you imagine?
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black.
Honey, that's me sniffing, driving my wife nuts.
Blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, I'm blacker than black. Yeah.
That was my wedding song, by the way. You should have seen my uncle and aunt. They were shocked. Yeah. But the only reason this is happening, Jason Riley says, authorities on campus have become more compliant. Exactly. The spineless little white fellas. Last year, at the urging of the school's Black Student Union, California State University, WCLA, California State University of Los Angeles, began offering segregated housing for black students. The University of Connecticut, the University of California, Davis, and the University of California, Berkeley are among the colleges that have similar arrangements in place. While these housing options are technically open to all students, which is a crock of shit, they're billed and used as arrangements in which black students can live with one another. So how do you feel about that, folks? With all this, all this progress we've made over the years, and with all the civil rights legislation passed, and us evolving as people, looks like no. The far left want to go backwards. Free tuition. Well, and you know what? Even these schools, what if, and again, I hate to point out the obvious double standard, but imagine going, okay, fine, we want all white dorms. I think we might be at a point where black students would go, okay, that's fine. They can't be that hypocritical, right? They might go, okay, that's fine. And what if it works, folks? What if it works? We're still friends. It's, you come over and visit. You go back to your dorm and you go to your mall. I'll go to my mall. But we meet somewhere, Sounds racist, but that's progressive politics. I say we give it a shot. See what happens. But it's pretty ironic that this sounding like George Wallace. But he gave some good statistics about how we've evolved, as far as all the stuff, interracial marriage. He says a large majority of whites continue to disapprove of interracial marriage throughout the 1960s to about 1964. 60% of adult whites polled declare their support for, interracial marriage. The matrimonial color bar eventually suffered the same fate as all other customs and laws of segregation, nor were white views the only ones evolving. In 1968, only 48% of blacks approved of mixed marriages. And then you had the March on Washington in 63, the Civil Rights Act in 64, the Voting Rights Act in 65. And you remember the movie Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? That was in 1967, and we were coming around as far as this. But no, here we are in 2017. Here we 2017, and we want our own stuff. I just don't. I just think the left just never wants to be happy. They just want to. They got nothing else to do. They live empty lives. Anyways, I'm going to take a break. 866-969-1969. When we come back, I'd like to hear from you people where you stand on this, if it's right or wrong. Welcome back. Currently talking about an article Jason Riley wrote in the Wall Street Journal, and about how colleges now, a lot of colleges are having. Well, basically segregation, all black dorms, and some schools want, students are clamoring for free tuition for black students, and I just thought that, segregation was something we got over. It took a long time to get over it, and now people want to go back to it, and I don't know. And again, most of these colleges are run by, white folk. Really ultra-liberal white folk, and they're spineless is one of their characteristics. It's just chicken shit. But they also want this, too. They're also for it. I just don't, I just don't. To me, it looks like we're regressing as far as that goes. I get it that people want to be with their own kind. That's just natural. Even if you go into a high school cafeteria today, that's just like natural. But, that's not what I've been hearing for the last 40 or 50 years from the media and everybody else, the Hillary Clintons and the Barack Obamas of the world, the Harry Reids and the big-titted Pelosi's. Just, we got to all hold hands. We're no different. No, we're very different. I say we're as different as our skin color sometimes. We really do. But, okay, let's try it. Want to try it again? It's not bad when black people suggest it, or white liberals, I guess. So, we are so confused as a nation on this. It's unbelievable. We've talked in circles. We're going backwards. It's a marriage that just... So now we're going to try, it's like a marriage. It's now going to try separation. 866-969-1969. Jerry in North Carolina. Jerry, what's happening? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nick, how are you? Enjoy your show.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, just wanted to comment. If you look at one of the things that, fortunately, it's not forced upon us in this country, is religion. And if you look at most churches and synagogues and whatever, most people are open with welcome with open arms. And you can. I'm white, but I feel most comfortable walking into a predominantly black church, and I feel like I would probably be welcomed. And the thing the other way. So when people start forcing things, and they're trying to not be racist, it's everything's coming full circle. And if you just let people choose what they want to be or where they want to go, I don't want to be forced. And then, to be a white male, heterosexual, that I don't question whether I should have been born with a penis or a vagina, we are becoming the abnormal. You almost don't belong.
Well, that's the perception. That's what the mainstream media, and this is, again, I can't stress this enough. We're so media driven. They're creating that perception that we're the abnormal. We're lockstep. If you don't, if you have a dick, but you refuse to say, I feel like a lady on Wednesday, you're an asshole. I mean, you're right, though. That's the perception they're creating. But you said people just do what they want naturally. And then I guess these black students say, yeah, that's what we're doing now. We just want okay, but I don't want to hear anything when white students do it.
Right. Well, what you're exactly right. I mean, and you made this point earlier. If a student came up and said, look, we want a white-only dorm, but blacks, if they ask, can get in, that student would not have a good life for the rest of his college life.
Right. Yeah. I noticed Jerry down there, down south, and I said this, me and Kelly were in New Orleans, and I noticed this when I go to the south. I see a lot more, it's there's a lot more integration. I see older black people and older white people out to dinner, and it makes me feel good. I don't see that up here. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but you see a lot more of blacks and whites sort of interacting with each other. Am I wrong there?
I don't think so, Nick. I think you mentioned the press earlier, and then that's the perception they try to push, and perception at some point becomes reality. But traditionally speaking, and there's more and more people coming from the Northeast here every day, but we're all friendly people, and I don't care if you're black or white or whatever.
Right.
Most people are receptive of one another. But I think the press almost forces us to think there's a problem.
Yeah, no, somebody, again, and you're right, they want us at each other's throats to keep us divided and distracted, I guess, so they can do whatever they're doing. That's why the mainstream media is it's a propaganda arm of the fucking one-worlders. I'm watching, thank you for the call, by the way, Jerry, that was great. I keep looking at the screens at CNN, and it's the same faces bitching about Trump. It's the same shit going across the bottom of the screen. Just, they got nothing. Just all excited. Well, we think Melania had some Russian dressing on her chin. We're going to look into the... yeah. But, let's go to Jason in San Diego, line 2. Jason, welcome to the show. How do you feel about what's going on at college campuses, segregation-wise?
I think these guys are fucking idiots. Honestly, I bet you Rosa Parks is rolling over in her grave right now. I mean, do these liberal idiots not realize that the people they hate so much, all these Klan members and toothless rednecks, they're doing all the work for them.
Yeah.
They're doing their job. These guys that have been oppressing black people for decades, and now, hey, let's just jump on the bandwagon and help them out.
Yeah, well, again, you bring up the Klan like they're actually relevant. There's about 12 of them left throughout the country, and they really don't have the juice they had.
The idea of a
Yes.
group of people being racist
Yes.
against another group of people is alive and well.
Yes, but it didn't. It wasn't invented by the Klan. You understand? People have hated each other for years. They just
But I mean, look at all of the activists that fought so hard
yes
against them for so long, so that all of these people can have equal rights, and now you're just shitting on them.
Yeah. No, we're undoing all the good. Absolutely. Martin Luther King Jr., I mean, this would make him sick to his stomach, what's going on. So
Half of these black kids that are coming up with these great ideas, I bet you their grandparents are pissed as fuck.
Well,
what do you think their grandparents and great-grandparents would say about this shit?
I don't know. I don't know, because according to Chris Rock, like the old black people are the most racist people on the planet. He's got the best bit on it. It's so I wish I had it. Jason, thank you.
Great show, man.
Thank you, Jason.
Great show. Love you guys. Have a good day.
Appreciate it. All right, another flip phone. Hey, let's go to the redneck nerd in L.A. who's been on the line for a while. Hey, redneck nerd,
hey, buddy.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Pretty good. You can hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Got a new Bluetooth. So, I want to chime in on this whole black dorm thing. It's just absolutely ridiculous. First we have the black graduation. Now we got the black dorms. I swear we're a bathroom and a water fountain away from the 40s.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right. And it's a combination, like I said, real white liberal people and black people who are agreeing with this. They're wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, my grandfather, if he was still with us, would tell, and he was a racist son of a bitch, but he would jump around and say, "Oh yeah, they're doing it for us." He would call it stupid.
Yeah, those people are, far and few in between now, and it's. But how about this notion? Okay, let's try it. How about that? Let's try it and see what happens.
You know what? Let's go ahead and try it. But if they're going to say we want black-only dorms, can't we turn around and say, okay, where's our white-only?
Well, that's what I'm saying. When I say let's try it, you can't have it one way. Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, you can. Just ask them.
Good point, redneck. All right, sir. Thank you for the call from Los Angeles. A redneck in L.A. How funny is that?
He's a trucker. He's one of
and
our...
and it wasn't Larry the Cable Guy. Yeah. Marty says this has been going on for decades. Marty, welcome to the show.
I didn't say decades, but it has been going on for a while, is that Howard University and there's a couple of other black universities that have all black frats, and that's been...
Yeah, Marty,
Nobody's ever complained about it like you have right now.
Hey, Marty, you hear how dumb you sound? Yeah, it's an all-black school. That's not what we're talking about here. Obviously.
Even having a black frat, in an all-white school or a white predominant school, great, but yet they're not going to get away with it because you're going to have one jackass that, one white guy that's going to say, I'm going to show this system, let's see how racist they are, and go as applied. And then they'll have it, take it to court, do the whole thing.
So you're saying you're actually for this? You're actually for this idea?
No, I'm not for it. I'm just saying it's an idea that's going to get blown out of the water when somebody, one white guy tries to go in and apply for it, gets denied.
No,
he goes to court.
No.
It's going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. I think we're past that. I think we're going so.
You're not.
Okay.
You're not past it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's another thing, Nick, before you hang up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that, you're complaining about people bitching about Trump. Well,
when did I complain about that?
That's what it sounded like when you were on the radio or when I was listening to you.
No, it's just because...
It's the same shit about Hillary. If people were complaining about Hillary bullshit, everybody, all the right was all complaining about him, or her. So everybody was all happy on the right. Now everybody on the left is unhappy because or on the right is unhappy because they're bitching about their main guy.
No, Marty, listen to me. You got to tell me Trump was being treated the same by CNN as Hillary was. They had the questions for her before a goddamn debate. Okay, if that happened with Trump, you guys would have shot him. What are you talking about?
Look, Trump gets away with bullshit on Fox.
Oh, does he? What kind of bullshit?
Yeah.
Like what?
He gets away with all kinds of bullshit.
Well, give me an example, Marty.
All his retarded tweets.
Yeah.
All his retarded tweets are just, right out into left field.
So what?
Then his son today saying that he doesn't believe that anybody disagrees with his father aren't people.
No. But no, you're right. You threw a couple things in, but you're right. He should go through the mainstream media that lied about him, that said he had no chance of winning right up to a minute before the election. He should still use that as a filter to talk to people. What are you, nuts?
No, I'm not that.
Yeah, you are. You've been in Seattle too long.
Why can't he? No, bullshit. Bullshit.
I love Seattle, but you guys have fucking lost it. You're so PC. Oh, you got to put down the coffee, Marty. Yeah, I got a little nuts out there.
Yeah, okay, have a nice day.
All right, buddy, take it easy. See how he's going, and a white guy will try to apply to the black fraternity. He'll fuck it up. Kid's brainwashed. He has ingested this horse shit. Seattle's as far left as you, and it's a great city. I fucking love it. I'd still go out there. But, come on, Marshawn Lynch. I know he's gone, but he's coming back with the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
But this he's blaming. Do you hear his scenario in his head? They'll try to do it, but it'll get blown out of the water. I don't know. I think we've reached since Obama, 8 years ago, we've reached a new level of stupid. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Adam in Wisconsin. He's a regular caller. Adam, what's going on?
Hey, Nick, how you doing? Love the show.
Thank you, brother. What's happening?
Hey, I just wanted to say that, I was in the Army in 2007. And, the self-segregation was alive and well then, and I'm sure it is now. And, you have a tight-knit brotherhood like that in the Army, and you still can't get past the race. And I just don't know how you would fix that. And I don't agree with it. And, going and hanging out with different racial categories, because the Mexicans, the blacks, and the whites all segregating themselves. And, you just kind of get this look like, okay, what does this guy want?
Right.
In the barracks and everything, and everyone's, separated by color, essentially.
Right.
And it's a rampant problem even in today's military. So
it seems a natural thing to hang out with your own kind, But it's one thing to make laws saying you have to hang out with your own kind, like they did. That's a little fucking draconian. So, I just, if it's wrong for whites to want to do it, it's the double standard. But you're right. Like I said, you go into a cafeteria in a high school or just watch Lock Up, the show Lock Up. And like you said, obviously the Mexicans hang with the Mexicans, the whites with the in prison. It's about safety and numbers. But this social.
Yeah, and I worked at a couple prisons myself. I'm in law enforcement.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and it's racial divide straight down the line, and then if they can't even talk to somebody else in a different race without trying to get jumped or ostracized by their own race or their own group. So.
Right. So it's the social engineers, the Ted Kennedys of the world, trying to force busing in Boston in the 70s, and all this social engineering, and it backfires. And women in the military, now there's all kinds of sexual assaults and rape. And I go, maybe that's why there was never women in the military, because we knew it wasn't going to work. But we just ignore that. No, we know better. Us educated Harvard jerk-offs, we know better. And
right.
but you know what I mean? Yeah, let our instincts take over. And whatever. But I appreciate the call, Adam. Thank you.
Thank you.
These experiments never work. So, but again, the examples I gave, the college campuses are actually giving in to this stuff. They're letting the inmates run the asylum. And a lot of it has to do with retribution. These black young students, they don't want reconciliation. They want retribution. And, that's what's in their heart. So it's never going to be right. I'm glad I don't go to college anymore. When I was at DeVry, it was all white.
Retribution.
Retribution. Give us a little. Go ahead. Tony, what do you...
It's retribution.
That is getting better every day.
That's because we do it in the office for a half hour before.
Yes, we do. We are obsessed, aren't we?
How can you not be?
But let's go to Matt in Ohio. He has an opinion. Matt, welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing well, Nick. I've been listening for a couple weeks. I absolutely love the show. It's my first time calling in.
All right. Nice to have you aboard.
Well, I got to kind of throw my 2 cents out there. I went to college for about a year in the state of Tennessee, which you think would be a little more conservative.
Right.
But yeah, you still see a lot of the leftist ideals pushed, even in like a Tennessee college, which to me kind of cracks me up. A lot of the left wants to, can't everybody just get along? That's what they say.
Yes.
But now we're almost backtracking to the early 1900s instead of moving forward and trying to, get past this stupid race idea. We're making it worse. The best way to move past it's just to kind of, I don't know. You got to get it out of the media. It's just making it worse.
It is making it worse. They're the ones, like I said, the people who have been screaming colorblind society for the last 50 years. They're the ones, and again, this is the far left. They're the ones, again, colorblind society. Now they're obsessed with it. De Blasio, like I said, I read a story today. He wants, a certain amount of high schools to be 40 to 50% black and Latino. I mean, it's a bean count, literally bean counting. It's social engineering. And they know better than us, But, but Tennessee, like you said, you'd think a college campus in Tennessee would be, no, the every college campus, doesn't matter what state it's in, it's an agenda that goes nationwide that they're pushing on us. And, you'd have to go to, what's the Christian University, Bob's college. No, Liberty University is, probably where you might see some conservative professors, maybe. But, it's crazy. Hey, Matt, thanks for the call and welcome to the show. What's that, Andy?
I was it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of the name of the college.
What, the one I was saying?
Yeah, it's a guy. It's like a full man's name. Yeah.
Yeah, because Oral Roberts.
Oral Roberts.
That's not the one I was thinking of, but yeah, but Oral. Let me tell you a little story about Oral Roberts. It's in Tulsa, right? Oh, there's one of them in Tulsa. I played a comedy club in Tulsa, and I think it was Oral Roberts University. Anyways, they have a statue out front of 2 praying hands. It's like it's like 60 feet high, 2 giant hands. And I was on the morning radio, and I go, somebody called in. I go, yeah, I saw those giant hands, a praying statue in front of. I go, they ought to put a dick in. They ought to put a dick in one of those hands to let people know what they're going to be doing when they're in Tulsa on vacation. Oh boy, did the phones light up! But here's the thing: I get to the club and the guy's actually laughing about it. This guy Randy that ran it, he was the manager. He was actually laughing. He goes, "Yeah, the phone's kind of lit up there." I go, I don't know how to make a restaurant.
This isn't fair.
It's not fair, no.
And I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert.
Segregation forever, for crying out loud. I do. I get a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling when I'm down south, and I see, and I, like I said, when I was in New Orleans, looking around, it's like a Saturday night. People out, black and white, of the same age group, mine, people older than me, having dinner and drinks together. I just don't see it that much up here. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but definitely, Kevin on line 4. Kevin in New York. Kev, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Nick?
Not too much.
I'm actually in Cohoes, New York. You were actually up here, right?
Yes.
How was that place? That place shut down for a while and just reopened.
Yes, thanks to my friend up there, the guy who runs what's his name? I'm forgetting his name. Tom Thomas Nicky, big Italian dude. That it's the oldest venue. It's the oldest venue in the country. It was in the 1700s. It is gorgeous. If I shoot another special, which I might not because I'm getting tired of this shit. But if I shoot another special, it would be at that theater. It is absolutely gorgeous. And
Cohoes Music Hall.
Yes, Cohoes Music Hall. Yeah.
Yep.
So how do you feel about this, Kev?
I was telling you, your phone's. I don't think you're wrong. I think you're looking at it wrong.
Okay.
I think, from my perspective, as a white guy in upstate New York, calling from a rotary phone, by the way, I think the difference here is that they're asking for it. They're not having somebody tell them to do it. They're not having a white guy, yell and scream like.
Well, I just said that. I just said.
Oh, I must have missed it.
I just said it's one.
That's the difference here.
I said it's one thing to impose laws saying you have, but the results are the same.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you got to look at the end result. It's stupidity. I mean, well, maybe it's not. Like I said, what if it works?
I agree with you. And just one other thing.
Let's call them on their bluff.
I appreciate you being cool with the callers and everything, and I like the new show. And
thank you, Kev.
It's a refreshing change of pace on the channel.
And you know what? Are you really on a rotary phone?
Well, I'm on a landline, and it's a phone on my desk, which a lot of people would be, put off by that. But
I got one too.
When we moved into our house, it actually did have a rotary phone when we moved in.
You know what? And listen I can hear you like you're next to me.
Crystal clear.
It's mobile phones. You can't hear on them, and they give you cancer. What else you got for?
No, this is a home landline. Yep.
Right. Well, you know what? Thanks, Kev. Hey, if you guys have a landline out there, did you hear that? So it really is.
Yeah.
A lot of it is the cell breakup. It's like fucking I had walkie-talkies that were better as kids. All right, look at the tits on them. Remember guys would say that you see a hot chick. Do you remember this phrase? I dragged my cock over a mile of broken glass just to hear her fart over a walkie-talkie. That was like a popular... I had that down before the Pledge of Allegiance in second grade. I dragged my cock over a mile of broken glass just to hear her fart over a walkie-talkie. I don't know who came up with that, but that is goddamn. MLK Jr. has nothing on that. I mean, mother of God. But I did mention that. It's one thing to impose it and say you got to stay with your own kind, but the results are going to be the same. But like I said, okay, let's call them on their bluff, these universities, and let's see what happens. Brendan's from Kentucky, so he's got a little Southern guilt in him. Every time I hear Kentucky, like I said, think of my wife banging that Kentucky football player before she was my wife. But I had it coming, apparently. I can't remember what I did. It's funny, I pick at that part of the story. But every time I see like Kentucky Wildcats on TV, I throw my shoes at the TV. Like an Iranian watching George W. But should we continue on this? I'm going to go to a break in a few seconds here. But if you guys still want to talk about it, 866-969-1969 is the phone number. And I wanted to get to a Virginia mosque where some guy was preaching, genital mutilation for women. And I'd like to get some calls on that. Who's against that? Raise your hand. Who the hell would be for that? Yeah, all cultures are the same, though, right? Give me a break. So we'll touch on that and a lot more, folks. It's the Nick Dipaolo Show. When we come back, 866-969-1969. We'll have more fun. There's some weed-smoking music for you.
Yeah.
Friggin' Zeppelin. Oh, yummy. Who was it? Was it Joe List said, I don't really do... Zeppelin doesn't do much for me. And then I poured gas on him and lit him on fire. Yeah. Love to see them in their heyday, huh? No, I had to go to see Men Without Hats. You know who I saw? I told you about Nugent, and a band opened for him called Nantucket. They were local, and they were killer, man. If you're listening out there, you're in that band, give us a call from the nursing home. That was a concert that damaged my ears. How are you, folks? Let's move on, shall we? Enough of the race talk. I'm getting uncomfortable. Here was a story that caught my eye. There's an imam, or an imam, at a Virginia mosque, and he says partial female genital mutilation helps prevent hypersexuality in women. And let's not forget who told us all cultures are equal. Maybe who am I to judge about genital mutilation, clitoral mutilation? Like I said, I think we've all done it maybe once or twice, not on purpose. You know, you do an 8-ball of Coke, you go down there, you forget what time it is, and God help me. I know it well, no. Yeah. In a YouTube lecture, Sheikh Al-Sayed spoke from about FGM, that's female genital mutilation, as the cutting off of the tip of the sexually sensitive part of the girl so that she is not hyper-sexually active. You know, I tried that on my wife before I went on the road because I didn't want her running around. And it just, oh, God help me. Where's the... Oh, that's nothing funny to laugh at. I know. I'm saying how backwards and stupid it is. Yeah, he reportedly, this imam said, he also warned that in societies where circumcision of girls is completely prohibited, hypersexuality takes over the entire society. And, that's called us getting laid a lot, fella. You gotta try. And a woman is not satisfied with one person or two or three. Really, sir? Is that how it works? Really? So you leave the clitoris on and they just turn into animals, all of them, huh? Because I had a girl in high school, and I'm pretty sure she had a clitoris. Either that or she dropped an M&M down there. I don't know what it was. But I couldn't get into her pants with a fucking chainsaw dynamite. Okay? She had a clit. She didn't want 2, 3, 4. She didn't want even one fella. My balls were purple. Let's say from the summer of 78 till about the winter of 82. Very frustrating. That's the other thing with the Catholic girls. I'm trying to get down her pants, and she's wearing a crucifix, and it's swinging in my face. It's like Jesus is going, go ahead, you pig. I'll send you right to hell if you get in there. How do you guys feel about clitoral mutilation? 866-969-1969 is the number. You believe they still do this shit? Do you believe it? Do you believe it? And this is at a mosque in Virginia. Listen to what this guy says. One long time, the name of the mosque is Dar al-Haraj. One of the members there said that the controversy over El-Assad's remarks reflected the ongoing tension between more conservative and moderate ranks of the mosque leadership. The guy says he's very old school. He has old school views. So clitoral mutilation, that's considered old school. What else you going to tell me? He's against the DH rule? Come on. That was so goddamn funny. I can hear the phones lighting up out there. Fucking.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert.
That's considered old school. Yeah, how about 11 AD? Is that old school enough for? Do you believe this shit? That's considered. Even me. Look, I'm not Joe Feminist, obviously. That's brutal in any year. That's just, and it's creepy because this story comes with a little illustration. It's a guy holding like these. They look like playing cards, and it's got a woman holding a girl down, and a guy's got her by the ankle, and he's got like a knife in his hand. But this stuff still goes on. And the girls over here in America, you talk about a war on women. I want free birth control. How about having your peanut chopped off? Your peanut. What the? Why am I coming up with this shit? Goodness gracious. And listen to this, and you'll find this very interesting. The mosque has fallen into the position of defending its image once again after it tried to recover from the discovery that 2 of the 9/11 hijackers and the Fort Hood shooter, Major Nadal Hassan, had all worshipped at this mosque at some point. American al-Qaeda leader Anwar al-Awlaki was also an imam at this mosque. So why is it still fucking open? Why is it still open? Why is it still open? That's unbelievable to me. Let's go to John in Texas on line 2. John, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nick, man, I'm glad to hear you got your own show, man. Big fan. I've always enjoyed hearing your take on things.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that.
It's interesting you bring up al-Awlaki. He was the leader of Al-Qaeda in the Arab Peninsula.
Yes.
I got a long history with some of these guys, military, Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm not going to say too much about who I am and what I've done.
Okay.
But I will tell you that this mosque in question is just one of a lot of mosques, not just in the United States, but around the world that are funded by the Takfiri/Wahhabist Salafi strain of Islam.
Right.
Which is a very radical version of the faith that basically says if you don't practice the faith in the exact precise way that it was practiced during the time of the Prophet,
right,
then you were excommunicated, thereby can be killed. And it includes some of the wackiest shit you've ever seen. We would roll up members of Al-Qaeda in Iraq, and their pockets would be filled with dead flies because they take it from a passage in the Sunnah, which says that every fly, if a fly falls into your drink, make sure both wings are dipped into the drink because one wing carries the disease and another wing carries the cure. And it's designed to reflect the good and bad of any situation in life, but they kind of carry it out to the extreme. But a lot of those mosques, the money for those things are coming from Saudi Arabia. So what you're seeing is the faith practice in America the way that it's done in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it's an extreme, what is it, Wahhabism? Is that what you say?
Well, there's 3 different things, and it's important to disaggregate the categories.
Right.
Wahhabism basically is a reflection of oneness with God. It's there being one God, and it's basically an ideology that you can go all the way back to the time of the Mongolian occupation of the Islamic world when you had a scholar in Syria named Ibn Taymiyyah who had stated that the Mongols who had converted to Islam weren't real Muslims because they still practiced some of their cultural nuances from Mongolia. Thus, they could be killed. They didn't receive the same protection as other Muslims.
Okay.
So it was carried on through the centuries, and then you had, Wahhabists killing Shias in Iraq. And at one point, the House of Saud wanted to rule the Arabian Peninsula, and they kind of formed an alliance with the Wahhab family.
Okay.
And that's kind of what gave birth to that idea. But,
okay.
Takfirism is kind of what I mentioned before about you don't practice it basically according to these tenets that you can be killed.
All right.
But there is a civil war going on in the Islamic world that a lot of people don't really recognize or understand, because these guys have killed a lot of Muslims.
Yeah, I mean, well, it goes back to Sunni Shia, right?
Well, yes.
I don't want to. I can't get too into the weeds because I'm short on time.
I understand. Yeah,
but
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I love that you know so much about the. I mean, this is as informed a caller as we've had on the show on this subject. So because it's really complicated. There's a million interpretations of the Quran, and we don't know what to believe. But you seem like you have a real grasp on it.
I've got about 20 years of skin in the game, and I've met a lot of members of Al-Qaeda personally, face to face.
No kidding.
I've been told repeatedly they're going to cut my head off one day, but that's why I'm kind of limiting the extent. If any of them are listening, you can go fuck yourself. I'm still alive.
Says John in Texas. John.
I'll be.
Hey, thank you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say thank you so much for your service, man. We appreciate what and literally putting your neck on the line. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have a sense of humor about this shit, right?
Yeah, you have to. Somebody should tell the Middle East.
They should have more comedy in the Middle East, to be honest with you.
Yes, I'm playing a place called Kaboom's, actually, in downtown Baghdad in about 3 weeks.
Hey, you want to know something really funny? The movie Orgasmo. Do you remember that movie by the guys, Matt and Trey from South Park? Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, well, Andy said, my producer says faintly.
Okay, so I got a copy of that when I was in Afghanistan sent to me. And me and a bunch of soldiers are watching it, and we're in a safe house in Kabul, and we have a guy named Jaweed who's one of the guards. He's an Afghan.
Yeah.
So I went out to him and said, Jaweed, man, you got to come in here and check out this movie. And, there's a lot of tits and ass in this movie.
Yeah.
So we put on, the guy stops and is like, holy shit, this is amazing. And so he sits down and starts watching it. It almost becomes kind of creepy, the way the dude was acting about the movie. So the next day, I get up, and I hear some ruckus in the next room, and I go in there, and there's 10 guys with turbans and long beards and AK-47s draped across their backs. And these are all of our guards. And they're all watching Orgasmo, so I'm like, oh, shit, what have I done? So I go in there, and I realize they're actually laughing about the movie. So I went in there, and I was like, what are you guys doing, man? You're Muslims. You can't watch this. And they all just started freaking out, like, no, we didn't know what this was. Like, hey, I was like, Taliban's gone. You're not in trouble. Go ahead and watch it. You're free now. Damn it. What else?
Yeah, there you go. That's liberation. Hey, thank you, John, so much for the call. And for serious. And for your service.
Good luck,
thank you. Appreciate it. Man, you know his stuff. I don't want to get too deep here. We go from Jerry Remy saying Tanaka shouldn't have a translator to... But this stuff, it's like some people with the Bible. They interpret literally, but one book to me is a little more dangerous than another. I don't know. I don't have time to read it, I'm reading Pat Buchanan's book, Death of the West. Brendan just made a face. What, are you kidding me? He'd be my first choice for president. Oh, how can you say that? I just did. Ben in Minnesota has a point. I'm not sure what it is. Ben, what's going on?
So it's okay for males to be circumcised in the United States.
Yeah.
It's not covered under insurance. That's considered plastic surgery. So your insurance don't cover it. So why is it okay to circumcise males in the United States just because some freaks back in the 1800s said it'll stop the guys playing with themselves? Kind of the same thought process. If you cut off the foreskin, then they're not going to touch themselves.
Yeah.
But I guess that would be true if you cut off the foreskin when they're 18 years old versus when they're a baby.
I did mine when I was like 21 with a butter knife out in the cold. Boy, did that. Let me tell you. Jesus H. I didn't touch myself for almost a week.
I don't agree with circumcisions at all. I didn't circumcise my son because I didn't see the need for it.
Oh, his girlfriend's going to be disgusted at that thing.
No, she's going to love it.
Whoa, yeah. What is she, like lint? She's going to find gum and pennies and popcorn like the back of a couch.
But the United States is like one of the only places that circumcises guys unless you're in Israel or a Jewish country.
Well, we have a Judeo-Christian work ethic over here. That's true. I personally, I like, I've seen a few fucking hammerhead sharks. I don't like the. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying they're beautiful creatures. I mean, because I like the clam better than anything else.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But it's just the same thing. In my opinion, if it's okay to slice off some baby's, a part of his dick, then what's the difference?
Yeah, but
why are Christians getting all pissed off?
Well, I'm telling you why, Ben, because it's not forced on them. The parents, have a say in whether the kid's circumcised or not. These countries over there, they're mutilating the girls, without giving her a choice. Isn't that the big difference?
Well, I think the choice is over there it's paternal, so the father makes the choice. The father makes the choice on anything. So they're going to follow their God, just like any other Bible thumper wants to follow their God. That says to chop off the end of your dick.
Yeah.
So I think it's the choice of the parents, yes, but then if the parents in the Muslim religion do not do it, then they are shunned or can be stoned to death because they're whatever. And over here, if I told somebody that my boy's not circumcised, they asked me all sorts of stupid questions and said, one of them was, well, don't you want his penis to look like yours? And I'm like,
what the hell is that? That's a last question.
Why the fuck?
What is that? What am I, fucking Liberace?
Yeah. I don't think he's going to give a shit. We're not going to shower together when we're adults. So.
Well, let me tell you this, though. Your son will be stoned to death by his girlfriend when she gets a look at that, if they're near a rock pile.
She's going to love it because
Listen to Ben.
Long and strong. The pink anaconda is going to come after
All right, Ben. Thank you so much.
Right, well,
appreciate it. Good point. I have no idea what his point was.
I have no idea. I'll tell you.
I'm saying, first of all, well, there's all kinds of arguments now, but they that is kind of controversial, the circumcision thing now. The nerve endings and blah, blah, blah. A lot of people, we overturn everything. I don't either. I like,
I don't want sleeping bag.
Yeah, sleeping bag, exactly. It looks like, that's what it looks like, a burn victim wrapped up at the Shriner Center. A burrito, I don't know. I like a nice trimmed, but, but they're going, yeah, if you don't do that, hypersexuality. What are you talking about? So every nun over here has a deboned. You can do that with, the bottle opener, by the way. You got to ice it down for, oh, for Christ's sake, Nick. What kind of talk is that? Oh, it's radio talk is what it is. Yeah. Hey, let's go to Paul in Virginia. The mosque we were talking about is right down the road from him, and Paul's calling us from Tehran. Now, Paul, what's going on?
I'm ducking shell fire there, Nick. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been a fan of yours since Tough Crowd days.
Oh, thank you.
You and Patrice, God rest his soul.
I know, huh?
I tell you. Hey, here's the thing that kills me, and I'm trying to figure out for the longest time how to reconcile this. Maybe you can help me. How does the left figure out that they can reconcile themselves? You've got a march with all these women that look like Encyclopedia Brown. They got this knitted punani hat that looks like something Grandma Eunice made.
Yeah.
And they're out there marching, and they're going to back the same people that are touting genital mutilation. It makes no sense to me at all.
No. There's a lot of, when you look into what they believe in, there's a lot of hypocrisy. Even, I remember Bill Maher calling out the feminists, the feminists weren't going after, I keep saying, That's because if I say that one more time, there was a caller that was very pissed at me, sent me a couple emails, and he was right about some of it. But I've had 19 coffees. Yeah, they
it's a drinking game.
The feminists wouldn't step up and say, start bad-mouthing Muslims, the far left, but they go after Christians. Rosie O'Donnell says, the Christians are worse than the terrorists, and we've heard all that stuff. And there's a ton of hypocrisy in what they say.
Yeah,
that's why
You're
Trump
not
won.
seeing the Mormons out there dropping their backpacks off and exploding,
Right. So, there's a lot of hypocrisy.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate it, Nick. Love your show, and going to be tuning in.
Paul, how far are you from that mosque we were talking about?
I'm actually about an hour away, so it ain't that far down the road.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like 150 feet. All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right. No, is that what he told you, Brendan? It's down the road. It's probably down the road, you know. It's an hour away. I thought he was looking out his living room window and he could see, you know, the clits being popped off.
Yeah.
Thrown in the dumpster. Well, that's, yeah. That word, just people don't like that. You remember, I brought up the band Nantucket. Well, apparently Wayne in South Carolina. Wayne, what's going on?
Hey, Nick, love the show, dude.
Thank you.
Nantucket was from a town called Jacksonville, North Carolina. They were real big